Abyss. The map sucks. Why? Well, to keep things simple, here's how it works. The map is big, meaning defenses need to spread out thin, resulting in attackers abusing the hell out of this map. But FNATIC, they pushed Abyss's fatal flaw to the extreme. Against Gentlemates, this European juggernaut tossed out the book, said it, and went A every single round. Hold on. How did FNATIC pull that off? I know attacking on this map is kinda coin flippy, but that shouldn't work this well. Did Gentlemates go AFK? Fall asleep? Fly off the map? Or is Abyss really that horrible of a map? Well, it is. But Gentlemates are just as bad. Going A every round? Why? This sounds like a strat an AI would come up with. But, I mean, it worked. Is AI gonna take over coaches in Valorant? That's nuts. Imagine you ask for a strat and it just spits it back out. That's crazy. Well, old me, let me introduce you to Rala, the first ever Radiant AI sidekick that is built to help you win games. In just a few clicks, you can have a bot that gives you real-time strats from pro games, displays the lineups and setups on screen, and Rala even has automated alerts. Like if the enemy team can afford an op, it'll tell you. Or if your opponents are one orb away from an ult, Rala will tell you. This info will win you rounds. Guys, this program is literally a robot that keeps track of everything for you. Your job is to sit back and frag out. Watch this. Hey Rala, show me a broken Cypher setup on A site Ascent. Ta-da! It's just that easy. And don't worry, Jimmy, Rala's partnered with Overwolf, which is authorized by Riot Games. This will never get you banned. It also doesn't hog any resources. So join the over 50,000 players using Rala for free today by clicking the link down in the description. And sponsor aside, guys, if you don't have this program downloaded, you're literally putting yourself at a disadvantage. Click the link. Right out of the gate, FNATIC are setting the tone in their 1-1-3 that they want to go A. On Abyss, rotation times take centuries, leading to a lot of space in the defensive setups, meaning there's weaker parts. That's why oftentimes you see Yorus and Astras played, as they both have global presence, with Yoru being able to rotate in an instant, and Astra who can smoke from across the planet. But their strengths still aren't big enough to patch these rotation times. Look, in Mate's pistol spread, Yoru and Astra are here to contest a B execute, Jet and Sova both have sheriffs ready to double peek either side of mid, but Omen is lonely. Meaning if the offense just go away, he's going to get flattened. Now, if your weak side gets exposed, typically you should reinforce it and put extra resources there. But that's also why teams pretty commonly run 1-1-3 defaults, the 3 being anywhere. The 3 runs into the stack site, so they run back to their teammates who have been holding all this map control. It's boring, it's Abyss. But if you decide not to run a Sentinel like Mates did, you really have to be ready to adjust your setups. The sites on this map are hard to hold with limited positions you can play, especially without trips, bots, lows, or walls. So let's see how the defense reacts to these 3. The match opens up with a flashpoint and double swing from the offense, Alpha hops upstairs, jump spots, and Boaster places a star, distracting the double sheriffs. Now, in response to this pressure in main, Omen has hung up a one-way, allowing time for the offense to group up with their jet. Once everyone's ready, Crashy sends out his Zal drone under the dark cover, and it spots Omen dropping to back sight. But who else is home? No one.
Something he's necessarily playing right now, but they have a lot of options. Either way, Althea will be the one leading the charge, taking that space alongside Kayak. Post-spawn is always where FNATIC have thrown.
Behind a fault line and breach flash, recon, and Gravwell, the site belongs to FNATIC. But because of this loud-ass execute, Mini has pushed through B main and plans on backstabbing the Sentinel-less, new word, look it up, offense. Now Boaster is too smart. He's taking cover behind this bush and is waiting for a cheeky defender. Does he find FNATIC's IGL? While that flank is happening, the defense group up in spawn? Wait, why is no one going through heaven?
Boaster is still able to sit in this position. There'll be stars online late, and so the time is very much an issue. You can't allow them to run that clock down lower, but as they go for the fight, they lose everything with Boaster tying this.
When retaking A, or any site in Valorant, you can't all just funnel through one choke. Doing so just makes the attackers' lives easier, as they only have to watch one lane. But by retaking through 2, this then splits up the offense's attention and gives you the potential to crunch them. And now let's imagine for a second that Gentlemates did retake site. What would the rest of the post-event look like? That looks like hell. FNATIC did a great job at managing their abilities for this hit. The duelists take back site and play deep during the post plants. They bait out the defense's utility while the supports fall back and use their abilities to spam the diffuser. FNATIC smurfed on Gentlemate's classics on the anti-eco, but there were two important parts that affect future rounds in this game. 1. Look at FNATIC's buy. On offense, an arsenal like this is strong as it allows the attackers to group up, maybe a rifle dies, but then one of the pistols pick it up and keep moving forward. Or if you're afraid of running into a stack, then just send in one of your pistols as a Sova drone in disguise. Did they run into a bunch of defenders? Great, go to the other site. The defense's stack or trap is now ruined, and all they got out of it was a sheriff or something. But buying like this also allows you to buy up on round 3, which normally should be a bonus. And 2, look at this smoke. On both pistol round and here, mates haven't smoked the choke, but instead sight. Doing so makes it way easier to hold sight as you're giving the defense more angles to clear, but by not smoking the choke, you might attract unwanted guests. And now legend has it that if you take the extra money from FNATIC's anti-eco buy and combine it with the fact that A main isn't being smoked, you summon the mythical, never before seen Breach Op. Because this redhead is in the back, stunning and flashing, he has the time to pull the sniper out and post up on the parts of the site where his teammates would be swung from. Remember, he's not going to get smoked off. So both teams are in similar, if not the same setups, but with bigger toys. The barriers fall, and Alphayer and Boaster want to create the same pressure in mid that they did on pistol.
That is correct. Now, Chronicles had some crazy games.
Mini hits a nice shot. Without the second duelist in this double dive comp, their execute should be weaker, right? Well, not when your singular A player is playing this close to main.
Immediately, and it looks like a quick adaptation. The stun on the back of the drone's contact, but Paranoia to slow. Zipan spots some time, has a smoke, gives himself that little angle, knows the first is a decoy, steps on his right. He's not heard them though, Kayak. Able to swing through.
After losing their jet in mid, the only space FNATIC had left was on A since Boaster was so deep in spawn. Why is this guy always back here? More on that later. But it only made sense for the offense to force it into A. And lucky for them, Zipan was playing in the middle of the open against a breached Sova comp and couldn't get out in time. Real quick, remember what I said. Because Abyss is so big, defenses typically have one retake or stall side and a stacked anchor site. Now look at the minimap. You tell me, why are we playing this far up? This hold is shit. Cadaver even had a sight smoke for him to take cover in and hold on a back sight to delay for rotates. Or Robbie could have used his Aldrone to help Zipan out too. But instead, the site belongs to FNATIC. They funnel in, Crashy soon darts heaven so he can get a safe plant off, Chronicle posts up on it with his op, and Kayak, I got his name right this time guys, Kayak, gets ready to contest the defense's retake. Oh, wait, no, please, don't all just go through spawn, not again!
Looking to get into that after bomb.
Spike planted.
So we'll eventually have, there's been a couple of opportunities here, but in the end it's Boaster to put the advantage with that attack side. Kayak still aggressive, dancing perfectly around the bullets. The drone will spot out where he is, but it doesn't seem to matter. He's so patient with it, doesn't panic in any of these scenarios. While the panic has set in for Gentlemates, realizing that holding onto these guns is far more important than anything else.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, man! He's punished Robbie. The wide swing out to check if he was still there. Cadaver's sticking about, and it looks like he'll get a reward. No one else close by to hunt him down.
So not only was our hold at Charmin Ultra Soft, but our retake was shit! Are mates afraid of heights? Why are we taking through one goddamn choke? On mates following save round, Alphayer ripped Chronicles op away from him and wanted to get revenge in mid.
Well, I feel like we're going to be looking at...
Because FNATIC discovered that the defense were peeking mid for info last round, why not punish them with an op? On attack, this thing is vastly underrated as people constantly are jiggling, peeking, or carelessly taking space on defense. Now after that kill, Omen tried making a play, died, FNATIC went A again, and Boaster did this.
And he's on his way to the spawn where he's about to have a nasty surprise.
I'm sorry, but if I died to that, I'd be pissed. But why is Boaster all the way back here? Well, here's the thing. FNATIC's comp doesn't have a Sentinel, but what Asher has is global presence, meaning that if her team is going A, she can help them execute in whichever way they need, while at the same time constantly watching their flank. But by watching it from back here, Boaster can get cheeky kills, or at least show himself and buy his team so much time. Do you know how long it takes to clear out whatever you want to call this part of the map? And in the early round, playing this far back on B allows his team another option to fall back on in case A doesn't work. But Boaster has a feeling that it will.
And we only did the same thing every round because I watched the VOD early of Gentlemates, and we really wanted to abuse their A because we know how it feels to hold A.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, double dive was nice.
Now this round, Kayak finally has his dimensional drift, meaning going A again should be like passing go, collecting another round win. So easy as a matter of fact, that FNATIC aren't even starting in a default. They're just going A. Round 5 begins with Kayak immediately entering his dimensional drift, Breach flashes around the corner, and FNATIC find Open standing there. Not so menacingly.
And they may be in for a lesson in that department. Kayak immediately on his way to the site. A second flash in his hands, and Zipan's been stunned up. Now here comes Kayak, but...
Zipan is lucky to have made it out with his life. But where's the heaven smoke? Why did Boaster smoke deeper like FNATIC were going to push inside? Weird. The offense have taken the site again, and at this point, we have to ask ourselves, are mates going to make any adjustments? Or are they going to have Omen toy with death with this piss poor way he's trying to hold sight? Like, this smoke isn't even working. It hasn't yet. They need to get proactive and fight FNATIC before they can dumpster sight. Whatever. Crashes and Chronicle flash and recon heaven to ensure a safe plant. And Boaster's just now taking shots at Cadaver on B. These lurks are nuts. And so is his Breach shop. He's just caught Robbie peeking out of heaven, who was, oh no, their only heaven player?
Getting into a post-plant scenario, all of them looking to try and build up from the corner. There's a crossfire holding, they're trying to clear out, but will they expect a second? No, they won't. Kayak with a clean double.
Mates finally cleared up backside, but at what cost? And not only that, but look at what FNATIC have left. Their post plant was perfect again. Once A's been taken, Yoru and Jet play on site to force the defense to burn all the resources to clear them out, leaving nothing for main. And the offense don't have to worry about their caboose. Just look at Boaster.
Aggressive work has been done. Now they have to try and clear out all of the, well, the classic FNATIC, the rat FNATIC, sat back with every single piece of utility you could ever desire. And if that's not enough, you got Chronicle with an AWP.
This one is done, and mates have realized it. Getting out while they can still carry those rifles through to the next. But 5-0 is the start for FNATIC. This is a dominant beginning.
Gentlemates finally take a timeout to stop this clown fiesta. Hey, Omen, do you think you can hold A? This is getting embarrassing, man. Please, kill me. Coming out of their timeout, mates have made the adjustment to sub Omen out of A and replace him with Silva and Yoru, who plan on fighting the attackers before they can utility dump site. A good adjustment, meaning if these two can brawl well enough, they should burn enough of FNATIC's arsenal to make their A hits weaker. And then the defense can hold it for once. But what did FNATIC talk about in their timeout? Okay guys, listen up. Mates are probably going to fix their A problems, so I have an idea. Let's go A. Now while this sounds troll, it actually isn't. See, in the attacker's pause, FNATIC basically told themselves, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Meaning that for the rest of this game, FNATIC are going to slam A until the defense can prove the offense that it's not open for business. Don't believe me? Then listen to this.
Did you steal Pips and Strat by going A for 12 rounds in a row?
I mean, I will say that I think he's a fantastic strategist. So, and this is one thing, I actually did say this to Chris. I said, if it works, just like, why change it? Like, we're sorry to, but we're just owning them on A. Like, they don't have any answer, so why would we change it up? And I think that it makes no sense.
It's funny to me how such a ranked strat can work this well in a professional game. And despite Gentlemate's adjustment, things are about to get worse. FNATIC make the first move by breach flashing and reconning high above main, tagging Yoru. Robbie couldn't break this dart for his duelist without getting gunned down. So mini flashes, both teams trade drones, but FNATIC gets further, tagging Mini. But he lets the dart pulse twice before leaving, threatening that he could still be there. Now this A-main scuffle has cost FNATIC their precious owl drone, a big piece of their hit. A Breach can no longer accurately stun a target for his duelist to go pounce on. FNATIC's execute should be weaker. But mates forgot about one thing, Sova's big-ass laser. I forgot to mention that in that timeout, FNATIC also figured that mates were probably going to fight for this space, so burning the rest of Sova's kit isn't that bad, since he can use his Hunter's Fury to cleanse the site. So Crashies grabs his orb, but then FNATIC... Wait, they're still going A, don't worry, but look at the defense's comp. The only information that they have is what Robbie just used to fight B, meaning that if the offense stay quiet, they threaten that they could have rotated. And Boaster has made sure the defense hasn't checked by pushing out a B. So mates should have no idea where FNATIC are, meaning it's an even 2-1-2. Perfect. The offense then proceed to group up and put Yoru and Sova's sight hold to the test.
Same old stairs, same old position. He'll sit there, pop down the stars. You hear them there. There's the stun.
How many times are we going to get hit by the same stun?
Well, everything. Gate crashes needed to get out for Mini. No contention of the site. Then Kayak goes in, pops the shorty on the back of the Hunter's Fury.
Once site was cleared, FNATIC realized that Robbie was in heaven, raining down arrows on the offense during their execute. So Crashies blew a hole right through the smoke, allowing Kayak to go up and bag a freebie. And Breaches caught Jet peeking out of heaven. Mates barely got to play this round, and it's a 3 versus 5. These guys gotta save. Because they pressured A last round, FNATIC finally go B, right? Wrong. Mates thought so. They have, count them with me class, 1, 2, 3, 4 people on B, and it's only Astra and Heaven on A. And now usually, I'd be crashing out right now, and you guys would be laughing at me. But this is actually a way tougher call than you think. Because as gentlemates, what are you supposed to do? You can't keep stacking A. What if FNATIC go B? Then you look like idiots. But if you stack B like they are here, and FNATIC go A again, you look like idiots. I even talked to gentlemates coach after the game, and they told me the same thing. They were ready for FNATIC to go B, as it would make sense. Mates just fought A, so you can't really get mad at them. It's like the defense or at the casino. The house always wins. And now to fight this theoretical B hit, mates explode past the buy barrier behind a blind, Nova Pulse, Recon, and Zipan's teepeed into heaven. But no one's here. FNATIC are still fixated on A. But due to this aggression, Boaster is calling for his breach, who's ready to stun this lane, but the defense have fallen back. In the meantime, Cadaver has popped a main star to make it seem like the defense are here. So FNATIC cautiously drone through, the owl drone makes it to site, and because so much noise was made on B, FNATIC feel a bit safer to just walk in. But why not take more space? The mates aren't here. So Chronicle fault lines their heaven smoke, Alpha cloudbursts to give himself cover, and updrafts and dashes in. He hangs out and takes a few pot shots, moves around, and him and Cadavra barely miss each other. But this aggressiveness has forced Robbie to burn his drone and investigate the area. That's enough baiting for Alpha. He drops, but Mini hops into his dimensional drift.
Oh, what did Kayak's scared though? He pop flashes himself in and takes 2 down. They're not even getting out of their own spawn at this stage.
Okay, so maybe mates felt comfortable retaking A this round since Mini had his ultimate online, but Kayak picked the perfect time to disrupt their retake. When Yours are in their walls, you'll know if they see you if this blue glow is around your screen. Now, if you pay attention closely, I think Kayak waited until Mini wasn't looking at him to flash into spawn. Or he just said, fuck it, I'm not getting utility dumped, and just threw himself at the defense. Mini had to literally sit in another dimension and watch his team get slaughtered. Then Alpha outdueled Astra in heaven. Now, mates did get a couple trades, but at the cost of a lot of HP. Mini is forced to save, but Robbie thinks he can get a few exits? Why, dude? Just go save. FNATIC have so much money.
The double duelist, but as said, you get rid of the double duelist.
One enemy remaining.
FNATIC turned back the clock and are bringing back their pissed around 1-1-3 default, wanting to go A, while mates want to be featured in a Teets video. Omen's by himself on A while they stack mid. Like, at what point do we say fuck this game of chicken and just stack A so we can stop being embarrassed? Maybe on round 9? This one opens up with Crashies lobbing a dart into main, which, by the way, is simple yet hard to deal with. I mentioned it previously, but remember when Mini and Robbie tried contesting main, and Mini got tagged by this recon? Well, you might be asking yourself, why didn't Sova break it for him? Bad question. I taught you guys better than that. But think about it. Typically, the site players are the ones supposed to play their lives because their utility is so valuable, right? Then how is Robbie supposed to shoot this thing? It's really risky. On Icebox, normally you want to break the start so your duelist can get a first blood, but you have cover to play around there. On Abyss, all you have is this spammable box. This ability caused so much of an issue that Mate's coach even mentioned it in our conversation post-match. Dart, fart, mart, it doesn't matter. The recon went uncontested, Alpha Air moved up and jump peak stairs, spotting click, which has done enough. Throughout this game, he's done this alongside Boaster placing the star to make it seem like FNATIC are going to do something in this area, but it's always been a bait. He drops back to his team, and when the defense's smoke fades, Kayak hops into his dimensional drift. He clears main, spots a silly Omen who scurries away, and drifts his way around sight, finally getting into heaven. Oh, wait, I see. That's why Boaster smoked heaven so weirdly earlier. FNATIC understands that your ult lasts so long that you can clear out the entirety of A and still have some duration left to ride the rope and take heaven too. That's why Boaster smoked so deep on round 5. And because the defense broke open vents and not the other side, Kayak and Alpha have a little safe space to burrow into. How are Mates going to retake all of this? With a 3-person flank. For the first time in a long time, Mates want to surprise a Sentinelist comp. But for the past 80 rounds, Boaster is still playing at spawn, waiting for this exact moment.
3 players are managing
They're looking for him.
to potentially bypass him.
No.
If he doesn't catch them, and he's missed them.
They pass, like 2 ships in the night. But Boaster's heard them running. I mean, how could you blame Gentlemates? This position is ridiculous to clear out. But now Boaster's alerting his team that a big flank is coming. They need to prepare themselves. So Kayak swings out of vents, right as Zip and flashes to clear it out. He dies, but Alpha trades shortly after. And now that flank is here. So FNATIC's last remaining duelist takes to the skies.
Instead, he was the one trapped in. And in fact, utility being expended, but Alpha yet to go over the top. You thought the FNATIC were trapped. It turns out it was the other side that was trapped. Finally, Chronicle, yeah, he's going to end it with the...
Once FNATIC realized just how many people were flanking them, Chronicle made the perfect decision to rip his Rolling Thunder. And because Alpha was so high up and so much noise was going on, Mates had no idea this guy was raining knives on their head. But how did FNATIC know that more than half of the defense was flanking? Well, if you look closely at what Chronicle and Alpha saw while holding spawn and exiting heaven, it was a whole lot of nothing. So while Boaster didn't see exactly who was flanking, he definitely heard something. FNATIC just used process of elimination. No one spawned yet, one was heaven, so flank had to be the answer. Omen can't hold A, Yoru and Sova can't hold A, so on Mate's Eco, they let Astra and Jet give it a try. As the round started, Jet got slotted into this cubby, but once again, this recon dart flushed her out. And now FNATIC were playing extremely far back in case Mates were planning something aggressive, but once enough time passed, the offense grouped up, Crashies droned through main, and it's tagged alone Astra. Jet left because FNATIC were taking so long.
For everybody at home, you're not going to believe this. I have a feeling.
Astra can't hold A either. And the reason why she got sprayed down is because if Astra were to re-enter her smoke, that's the timing in which the tag wore off. And now after that kill, the attackers burned more time off the clock, threatening that they could have left, anchoring the defense elsewhere. I mean, FNATIC are due to go B. They could. It's been a while. But come on, you've seen the title of the video, right? They dry peeked Jet, she's gone, and the site was FNATIC's again, leading to another easy round. But now, FNATIC are slowing down the pace. They understand that Mates are probably frustrated or embarrassed, might overextend, so are sitting in spawn. But they've given Alpha the op to go exploring. Now Mates have let Omen and Yoru have the reins back and are contesting A main in their 2-1-2. The start of this round is pretty boring. The defense smokes stairs, recon's behind, and Alpha pulls out a shorty in case of an early anti Omen teleport. But besides that, yeah, nothing really happens. Omen smokes main, Robbie jump spots mid a few times, and eventually all drones, which FNATIC respond to with a flash and recon of their own. Again, FNATIC are just making it seem like they're going to do something in here, but they're just grouping up on A. The bulk of the pack move up, Crashies drones through the dark cover, but that's Robbie's trigger.
We're all good.
No, it was Cypher on that one.
Oh, it was the Cypher restart. Oh, it was the Camp Breeze, yes.
Well, okay. Open it.
Chronicle's down. Robbie's plan was to hit Sova while in his drone, but has instead found Breach, the muscle behind this comp. Now, Boaster and Kayak tried making up for it by taking pot shots at Jiggle and Jump Peekers, but can't find anything. But in response to seeing Yoru in main, Kadavra smokes the entrance, and Mini plays anti-flash. Dude, someone has to watch the choke for you to do that. Mini, Kayak just walked in!
Be careful.
That's not the spawn, Boaster!
He's just walked through. He's just walked through. Kayak has walked through.
What?
Yeah, that's not a decoy. That is actually Kayak. He is on the top of the site. He's going to take down 2. He still doesn't realize that Mini's at the front. This is a very weird round.
What kind of timing was that? Alpha did what he had to with an op and Shorty, putting them in a 2 versus 2. But FNATIC have no idea where the remaining players are. Alpha picks up a Vandal, taps to bait the suck, and each player is wandering around Abyss until FNATIC feels safe to smoke Heaven, plant, and they both head up inside. But mates have a big-ass purple bulletproof wall. This could get risky, but with this suck, the defense might think the offense have retreated to main.
Spike, but the problem here, man, you're certain that this squad is on the other side. You're certain that they're playing this towards main, and in fact they're not. There we go. They've denied Kadavra the defuse, and Click assumes Boaster must be in the spawn!
Mates have finally ripped off the band-aid. They're finally stacking 4 players on A, but are getting more aggressive than we've ever seen. They're pissed. But FNATIC are still playing back. Surely by now, mates are itching to get aggressive and stop this A abuse, right? Right! Round 11 opens up with these 3 slowly creeping into main, Zipan with his paranoia locked and loaded to blind off their contact, but no one's there. Not yet.
It's a bit of a different vibe here. I have to be honest with you. Big push.
FNATIC have come out on top again, and they're running down the remaining defenders, crash these drones, and tells Breach where they are.
Brought to that stage all month long. 11th round seeming certain with the Blade Storm online yet again, but it won't find its mark. Zipan steps up, 25 HP. Robbie BK's in there. Mates, finally, it seems, have found...
Robbie did great to sprint to backside and form an on-the-fly crossfire with Zipan, making it a 2 versus 1. And for the first time this game, it looks like mates are going to win a round. Now FNATIC's last hope is Boaster. The man who's been all alone on his little island every round needs to step up to the plate and knock one out of the park. It's him and his 0 deaths versus 2 gentlemates. But first, he needs the spike. So he backtracks through and up spawn, him and Kadavra pass like 2 ships in the night, and Robbie drops back to spawn. To the defense, Boaster can be anywhere. I mean, if he's playing behind this thing, it's not crazy to think he's in their spawn now. So everyone wanders around the map without a clue of where the other are. Eventually, the defense decide to just let Boaster make the next move. Sova sits in spawn, Asher near B main, and Boaster looks around too. He peers into heaven, saw no one, and decides to drop down and pop a Nebula to fake that he's planning in it. But he's safe, come on. Robbie and Kadavra are light years away from each other, so grouping up is going to burn a lot of time. Abyss is huge! Okay, they both made it into heaven, and Boaster lays out a couple stars. One to suck the defuse, and a smoke to play around. Does Boaster finally get his first death?
And it's Boaster, not a death on the board, who stands in their way. 2 players, Kadavra and Robbie BK, they've cleaned up so far. Defuse has started, wild spam from Boaster, and he hasn't stopped it. Gravwell goes into play, that's bought him at least a little bit more time. It's ticking fast, and Kadavra's down. It's just one who stands in his way, and no more! Boaster unyielding in the face of gentlemates.
Our poor Boaster. He was so young. Why did he have to die? Well, lucky for his streak, deaths to the spike don't count. And also lucky for FNATIC, Kayak has another dimensional drift, and he's running it down A through mate side smoke that hasn't worked all game and gives his team the thumbs up to come on in.
So that spike is still heading their way in.
But Zipan's had enough. He pre-fired where he heard Kayak exit his ult, and now FNATIC are at a standstill. Perhaps the take was too fast? Careless? Alphair is on B with the op looking for a kill, and Boaster is still in his nest. And now mates are through mid and want to show FNATIC what it's like to get run over on A.
He's put Kayak in the dirt, and actually the defensive side are pushing up middle. There's a chance they catch the players with the spike, but Boaster, his timing will be utterly perfect.
Mini pinched the attackers. By popping his dimensional drift, he was able to scout out spawn for his teammates to push in and cam out in A main. Boaster tried to help, but as he came up the rope, he got blindsided by Gentlemates, and Alphas whiffed on Cadavra. And now after everything we've seen this video, I never thought I'd see a 5 versus 2 in favor of the defense. Alpha retreats, dashes and updrafts to help Boaster. Bang! That's 1 down, 4 to go. And Cadavra heard him leave, so he thinks he has a timing.
The first man has fallen. The op of Alpha though.
If Boaster wants to keep his 0 death streak alive, it's all on him.
Leaves Boaster. He's in the spawn, and it might be his first death of the half. In fact, it looks like it will be. They have finally dealt with Boaster.
Honestly, I would have saved, but that's how FNATIC went A every round. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Now, remember when T1 did this against G2? Watch this video to see what happened there.